must say I didn't expect a doorstop right now. Sorry, what is the question, Afifa?
How are you feeling right now? Another win, another GRC
Um,
win.
well, indeed, I'm very grateful to all the voters in Hougang, Aljunied, and Sengkang for trusting us with their vote. But I'm also very humbled by it, and I'm not feeling euphoric at all. In fact, I think there's a lot of work to do. And I think we've got to work hard. We've got to keep our feet grounded. And this is something that I'll be repeating to all the winning candidates through the course of tomorrow and the weeks that come, because there'll be a number of things that need to be done. So I expect all the candidates of the Workers' Party who have done well in this election, even those who may not have succeeded in becoming candidates to represent Singapore and Singaporeans, I expect them to keep their feet firmly grounded and remember why they are doing what they are doing. And if we can move forward in that manner, wanting to speak up for Singaporeans in a rational, responsible way, like how a credible opposition should, then I think we can make some progress.
Do you think that the voters resonated with the party's key messages throughout the campaign?
Well, we'll have to review the campaign in a more in-depth way, but I probably don't want to make any additional comments because I haven't looked at the numbers closely yet. And I haven't reflected on also the campaign specifically in a more granular fashion. Yeah.
Sengkang GRC is a new GRC. Would you be able to respond to voters who voted for the WP this time around?
Well, I'm very grateful for their support. I'm very, very thankful. We will walk with them. And as the party leader mentioned, the party leader for the Sengkang team mentioned in her speech just only a few minutes ago, humility must define the WP Sengkang team. And they've got a lot of work to do. And we need the support of the community in Sengkang to achieve good outcomes for them, not just in Sengkang, but in Parliament for them as well.
Do you plan to have any walkabouts tomorrow to thank voters in the constituencies that you contested?
I believe there is no permission has been given by the ELD to have the usual thank you parade on a preambulating vehicle, but there have been no specific plans as yet. I think the team are talking. I'll let them decide how they want to thank the voters of Sengkang. Yes.
How big a role do you think that the Jamus political debate and the Raisa episode play a part in Sengkang's victory?
Well, whatever view I have would be speculative, but I would think, more generally speaking, the desire of the Workers' Party Election Committee to put together a slate of individuals who would represent the party well and who could resonate with the public would explain why that team managed to succeed in Sengkang.
So, Mr. Singh, for Aljunied GRC,
Yes.
60% is the greatest vote share that the WP has seen in all elections so far. So what are your thoughts on this?
Again, I'm very grateful to the voters in Aljunied. I also know, instead of focusing on the 60%, I would focus on the 40% who didn't vote for us. And my commitment and promise to them is that we will continue to serve everyone in Aljunied equally and fairly. So if there's a concern you have, an issue you have, please come and talk to us. I think we should remember that this election is held in actually very difficult times. I don't think we've felt the full impact of the COVID-19 fallout yet. There are difficult months ahead, and we will have to reach out to everybody if we want to come together as one united people.
Pritam, the PAP's vote share fell by almost 8 percentage points this time around. What do you think it says about voters' expectations of the PAP's performance in the last 5 years?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to connect the vote share this time round to the PAP's performance over 5 years. Like I said, I need to have a look at the results in a more global fashion, and I will do that along with the party in the next few days. And then we'll have some better idea of what worked for us and what didn't work for us and so forth.
But did the results surprise you?
Well, I had made it quite clear that I expected a difficult election, and when I was suggesting to the public that there's a real risk of a wipeout, I wasn't kidding. So indeed, the result is a pleasant surprise, I would say, for the Workers' Party. But I think over time, the public also have become au fait with our brand of politics, and that's probably what I'm most satisfied about. It was started from people who came before me. You had individuals, of course, Mr. Lau is the name everybody is familiar with, but there were many other people who stood for elections for the Workers' Party from 2011, and they have all played their part. Even though many of them may not have been elected, they've all played their part in building this reputation for the party. And it's the duty of the current leadership team to continue that tradition and to make sure that the Workers' Party is a party that is relevant for Singapore and Singaporeans.
So, Mr. Singh, 10 seats out of the 93 in Parliament, and some observers have pointed out that this would take the House into uncharted territory. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I think that number is still far short of the 1/3 that is significant for being able to make a position, a strong position on, let's say, constitutional amendment bills, for example. But it's still not exactly a quantum leap, if you know what I mean. So I think we should still focus on strengthening the party as an organization and speaking up in Parliament intelligently and thoughtfully, such that we actually represent what people are feeling on the ground.
Pritam, you said that there's much work to be done in the 3 constituencies. What are the most immediate things that you're doing?
Well, obviously for Aljunied and Hougang, I mean, we've got to start to review our strategic master plan for the next 5 years. Of course, there are the usual things that have to be done. I mean, I think we've got close to about $15 million worth of upgrading projects already committed by HDB. We've got to get those off the ground. Then there's also the usual cyclical work that has to be undertaken, repainting, re-roofing and stuff like that. And we also want to take advantage to see whether there are certain things that we need to adjust in the community insofar as infrastructure rollout is concerned. That's on the Aljunied and even the Hougang front, I would say. For Sengkang, of course, it's to raise a new town council. There's much work to be done there, but I don't want to jump the gun on that because I think it's only appropriate that I confer with the Sengkang team to decide how we want to proceed in Sengkang. But as is the case in any elections, if there is a change of town council, I mean the services, the current contractors, I mean they will still continue to do their work. That's the expectation, that they will continue as if nothing has really changed. There are existing contracts that are in force and those will continue to run. And at the appropriate time, in accordance with the Town Councils Act, we'll have to move forward with a town council for Sengkang.
Well, are you concerned it might be another difficult transition or handover?
Well, since 2011, I mean, I think even MND has acknowledged that, the Ministry of National Development has acknowledged that there is room for improvement in terms of a handover between town councils. I think certain guidelines have already been introduced, and I think we will go into that transition in good faith. But it's a good point. I think the experience of 2011 should make us wiser as to how we should manage a handover, and we'll keep that in mind. Anyone else?
Mr. Singh, can you just take us through the process of the campaign trail? I mean, in Aljunied GRC, when you were out on the ground, did you expect these results of the 60% of the vote share for Aljunied?
Well, I mean, I've answered questions regarding confidence level, what the voters are, how the voters are likely to vote in previous doorstops. I wouldn't want to speculate because elections can turn sometimes when you least expect them to turn. Something may happen in between the campaign and things can change. So I'm always a bit circumspect, and instead I'd rather focus on what we've done in the past 5 years and bank on that, and to remind voters that, look, we're not fly-by-night operators here. I think we're very serious in presenting a beautiful town to residents and to have some plans and strategies to deliver that. And I think on that note, I'd like to thank the town council team in Aljunied and Hougang for the last 5 years in running the town council well. I think they've done a good job. We're not perfect. We're definitely not perfect. There's room for improvement. But that's why work starts tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.